everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It is Jen with Hominess Plans, and today I will be sharing my decorative journaling spread in my Scribbles That Matter bullet journal. I bought this journal back in November when I got really interested in watching Amanda Rach Lee and other bullet journalers on YouTube, and I was kind of looking for a way to use it in a way that worked for me. I found that I was not as dedicated at making monthly setups in bullet journals and everything. But what I was really enjoying doing was utilizing it as an actual journal. But I'm the type of person to where if there's not something that's visually appealing, I'm not going to open the book. So I used to do scrapbooking with my mom, and I had a bunch of leftover scrapbook stickers and everything like that. And I was like, okay, I know what I can do. So I went and I purchased a paper pack from Hobby Lobby, and I decided to go with like a vintage style and theme because I don't know, for this particular journal, that's what really appealed to me was like the vintage style, and also that's some of the stickers that I had left over. That's like the theme that like popped out to me. And I just started laying a bunch of stuff down in the book, and I don't know, I enjoyed the outcome of it. But I shared a couple spreads on Instagram and people seemed kind of interested, and I decided, what the heck, I guess I'll share my process in making a journal spread. I hope you guys like it. If you have any suggestions or comments or videos you would like to see, please leave them in the comments below. But anyways, what I am doing is I am just taking a couple of bits and bobs from these journaling from these craft paper sheets and cutting out a couple of designs that I liked. One of the reasons why I purchased this particular paper pack was because I really liked the vintage feel of it. And I liked that I could cut out a couple of the pieces for layering objects. Like I said, I really like the vintage feel in this journal. It really inspires me. So yeah, I also bought a pack of this brown parchment paper, because I figured that would be kind of like a cool base for a bunch of this. I don't know why, like I see brown craft paper and I'm like, that's vintage right there. But whatever, that's just how my brain works. But I do utilize that as kind of like the base for layering. I then take some of this floral craft paper and layer it over top of that to kind of give a little bit more dimension and whatnot in the spread. I have to cut the corners to round them out because the corners of this particular book are rounded and they don't come to a point. They're not squared off, you know, all that jazz. I'm really terrible at explaining this stuff, guys. I really hope you're following me. But anyways, I'm just going to layer a bunch of paper up in this corner. So whenever I get to something else that's kind of interesting, I'll be back. In the meantime, please enjoy some music. Okay, so now that the upper left corner is done, I'm going to move on to the next section. I don't know why, but like the upper left portion of my journal spreads are always like very important to me because that's where my eyes immediately shift to. That's where I like to put the date and everything, and it took me way longer than I would have liked to layer all the elements on that side. I don't know, for some reason I'm like, it has to be perfect. But as soon as I get that laid down, it's always a little bit easier to put the rest of the spread together because I have an idea of how I want everything else to look. So it's like, as soon as that one corner comes together, everything else kind of falls into place. So what I'm doing is just kind of matching the base here by laying down some of that brown craft paper on the right side corner, and then some of that same floral craft paper over top of that. I like to create almost a frame with the corners here because obviously I still need some space to write, but I want it to be, like I said, aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So pulling in a bunch of these elements that I cut out earlier and creating a frame that is also cohesive with each other is it's pretty fun to accomplish. The stickers that I am pulling into this spread I found in the scrapbook section over at Hobby Lobby. They're from the brand Stickability, and that's honestly I think the cheaper route to go if you want to try and do something like this yourself. Hobby Lobby and Michaels always have sales going on their scrapbooking supplies. So like paper products that you want to pull in, maybe some scrapbook stickers, certain brands, you can find a whole bunch of deals over there. So don't feel like you have to like go online and order a whole bunch of stuff if you want to try something like this. Go to your local craft store and see what you can find there. Like I said, a lot of this I pulled in from some leftover scrapbooking stuff that I had, and I just went with it. You can also accomplish something like this by pulling in some leftover Happy Planner stickers if you have that. The very first spread that I posted on Instagram, I actually just utilized some leftovers from an old Happy Planner sticker book that I had from whenever I very first started planning, and I really liked the way that it looked. And the layering element that I used in that was actually from some packaging that I got from White Deer Stationery. So don't feel like you have to spend a whole bunch of money in order to create something. There are ways that you can make something really pretty and cohesive and still keep it budget friendly. So that's, I think, one of the problems that I ran into whenever I first got into planning is I felt like I needed to buy a whole bunch of stuff in order to get started. And you really don't. Just go through your collection, see what you have, and as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, don't feel like you have to spend a whole bunch of money to do it. But anyways, jumping down to the bottom right-hand corner, I'm just putting some more of that craft paper. I took a piece of that letter, like that vintage letter from the craft paper that I cut out earlier. I really liked this particular one, and I knew I wanted to put it somewhere in the spread, and I felt like it went really well here. I am also pulling in another one of those vintage bird stickers from the Stickability scrapbook sticker page that I have there. Then I'm just framing in the corner on the left-hand side, and I'm actually going to keep this relatively simple because, like I said, I still need some space to write. So I'm just pulling in some more brown craft paper. I do pull in a vellum flower sticker, which again came from a sticker sheet that I found at the scrapbook section at Hobby Lobby. It is vellum and it's kind of transparent. I really liked the way that it looked. And I just layer that over top of the brown parchment paper. And then I add another one of those vintage butterflies that I cut out from that craft paper page that I had. I really enjoyed doing this spread. I kind of enjoy doing these weekly. Like I said, I kind of culminate a bunch of my thoughts and I write it down as I see fit. I'm not the best at daily journaling, but I really like culminating my week and going back and looking and seeing how things kind of played out, what my actual thoughts were, instead of looking back at just like some highlights or, you know, high points or whatever. It's honestly just a really fun way to get out a bunch of my brain dump that goes on inside of my head. But anyways, I'm just kind of finishing up the spread. I'm gonna write down some thoughts. I'm sorry if this was such a rambly mess. This was my very first video doing this. Thank you guys for sticking with me. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jen. I do planner things. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.